Here's something that surprised me over time. The more confident I got, the less I carried. Not because I cared less, but because I trusted myself more. Welcome to Not Another EDC Podcast, where everyday carry meets everyday life. I'm Mikey, a husband, a father, an EDC content creator, and gear enthusiast. We've come a long way with these Not Another EDC Podcasts. We're on episode 28. And today, I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough. Why my actual EDC got smaller as my confidence grew. Here's the assumption that people make. Most people assume confidence comes from having more options, more tools, more backups, more just in case. But for me, the opposite happened. As I spent more time using my gear, training with it, and understanding my routines, I realized I didn't need nearly as much of the stuff that I carried. You see, confidence comes from familiarity. I say that over and over again. Confidence didn't come from adding more gear, specifically for me. It came from repetition, knowing exactly where something is, knowing how it feels in my hand and how I use it, knowing what it can and cannot do. When you stop guessing, you stop compensating. Here's why more gear can signal less confidence. Sometimes carrying more isn't about preparedness. It's about uncertainty. Uncertainty in skill, uncertainty in judgment, uncertainty in reactions. When you trust yourself, you don't need to hedge every single decision. You see, the items that stayed in my everyday carry weren't the most impressive ones. They were the most familiar, the ones that I actually reached for without thinking, the ones that quietly solved problems without needing all the attention. That's when I realized my EDC wasn't shrinking, it was stabilizing. And I also have said this in the past, that stability beats novelty every single time. Novelty feels like progress, but stability is where confidence lives. When your carry stops changing, your focus shifts. You're no longer thinking about what you brought, you're thinking about what you're doing. Confidence isn't loud. Confident EDC doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need justification. It just works quietly. My EDC didn't get smaller because I became careless. It got smaller because I became intentional. I stopped caring for possibilities and started caring for reality. Said that in the past as well. Here's today's recurring challenge for this podcast episode. Let's call it the confidence test. Look at what you carry today and ask yourself one question. What do I carry because I trust it? And what do I carry because I don't trust myself yet? Probably like 2 questions. But there's no wrong answer. Fire down in the comments below once you answer those questions. And lastly, I leave you with this. Confidence doesn't show up as more gear. It shows up as fewer decisions. And fewer decisions makes room for better ones. Thanks for listening to Not Another EDC Podcast. Carry what you trust. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Walk past.